The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, Geek.Nerd.Tech, featuring a weekly roundup of tech news and gossip. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Geek.Nerd.Tech.
Oh, no song? That's it. I was ready. Oh, I was ready for Nas.
Man, I was too.
Welcome to Geek.Nerd.Tech. This is the show, of course, where we break down nerd culture, tech news from a black and brown geek perspective. My name is Joe Braswell. I'm joined, as always, by my man Akili Shine. No music throws me off.
I know, it was a bit different. Hey, man, freestyle it, brother.
All right, here we go. How you doing, Akili?
I'm good, man.
Good?
Very good, bro. We have a hot week coming up, man. Hot weekend, rather.
Yes.
California weather, man. It's crazy.
Blazing. I thought you meant hot because of the Super Bowl.
I mean, that too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. We also have a very special guest. We have Joelle Monique from BlackGirlNerds.com joining us on GET. Sort of a nerd-to-nerd connection.
Yes.
She's going to help us break down some topics and talk about some things. How are you, Joelle?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
It's good to have a female perspective. We usually have Alexis here from time to time, so it's good to have break up the testosterone.
Okay.
That we have.
I
usually.
feel you.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, we're on the verge of Super Bowl weekend. We've been talking about all these Super Bowl ads and all of the most watched, most texted, tweeted, social Super Bowl ever. And I'm sure somewhere in here we'll have some Facebook news because we do every single week. We can't go 1 week. Wait, this might be the week actually.
Nah, man. We're not done with Facebook this week.
Really?
Yeah, anti-Facebook this week.
Wow. I mean, It's the first week in like
17?
Like 87 weeks that we did not have a Facebook taking over the world story.
Yeah, no.
That's incredible. All right, let's jump into these topics. Let's jump into these. Right, I do want to talk about, we've been talking a lot about Apple and Apple's sort of borderline legal troubles and sort of them skirting around things. And then Akila and I had a philosophical conversation about a lot of these companies there's always some sort of there's always another shoe to drop in terms of some sort of patent suit or some sort of technology suit. Well, Apple just is about to pay $626 million, over $500 million, to because they said their iMessage and their FaceTime and a lot of their Apple software is infringed on another company's patent. Now, the thing about this is it's this company called Viranet X, and they're kind of they're being suspected of being a patent troll. For those of you who don't know, this happens in podcasting, this happens in technology. Patent trolls company who are usually a couple savvy individuals. They'll put a patent on 100 products and just kind of sit on them, and then little minute details in the product. So one guy tried to do podcasting, in general, yes, because the mechanism he took a patent out on the mechanism used to stream. Yeah, and he claimed he owned podcasting. Wow. So he sued Mark Maron and he sued everything. So it's a whole thing.
Cute.
And Adam Carolla took him down, I believe. But anyway, so this is not dissimilar. This company's called Viranet X. They have 14 employees. They rent office spaces for $5,000 a month, and they just won over $500 million from Apple. First of all, do you believe this suit? Yes or no, Joelle? And if so, what do you think?
I mean, believe it how it happened.
I guess so.
I don't know. It's crazy to me because this is the second time they've gone around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first time they lost because they couldn't prove that iPad sales were because of their product, which is kind of crazy to me because there's whole commercial pillars based on the fact that you can FaceTime on your tablet and have these conversations with military dads overseas.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're running a smart company. How do I get in on that?
Yeah, well, smart or fraudulent. It sounds like their business model is pretty sound. They're making billions.
Yeah.
But $5,000 a month, 14 employees. I don't know, Keely, what do you think of this?
I don't think it's fraudulent at all.
Oh.
You want to protect your IP if you came up with some creative manifestation, and you want to be able to be compensated for that fairly and protected by the law. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I feel that, hey, that's a smart way of doing business. Like, I'm gonna come up with these ideas, get patents for them, and I'm gonna wait to see if someone does infringe on them. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Because isn't that the point is they're not coming up with the ideas. So it's like you came up with the idea for the BHL microphone. You made it. You came up with it, and then I said, I'm gonna get the patent on that little screw that holds the thing together, and that way, Keely. So when you go to sell your thing, I'm like, you can't do this without me. I did the screw.
Okay,
give me some money.
Okay, so
that's all right.
I didn't take it as that. I didn't read it as that. So how did they know about iMessage? Like, I'm trying to figure out how Apple could create iMessage without patenting it. Well, and how another company could know about it.
What happens with these patent trolls is they're experts at finding the loophole of the thing. So they'll find a loophole in the technology that the technology cannot exist with. So you can patent, like, say you patent headphones and the mechanism. You patent these headphones, then they'll come in and they'll figure out a way to patent the way the sound comes out of comes into the input. Like, you can't have the headphones out the input, brother. You owe me some money. It's that kind of stuff, and it's really that's why it's an issue. But they got paid, so I don't know.
It's hard for me to feel bad for Apple. Like, I mean, it was a couple million. Like, they lost 1% of their stock, and it was like a couple billion. So it sounds like hardly a dent. But I mean, I guess if it's fraudulent, then it's fraudulent.
Right. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying. Look, if it's your IP and Apple stole it, get your money. Yeah. But if it's not your IP and you're coming up with ways to get in there and get that money, then I don't know. Fair game or no?
No, that's definitely manipulative, and I think I don't know. I didn't take that article that way, but that's what they're doing, and I do have a change of heart in the sense that that is kind of a very corrupt way of chopping someone's idea down. Like, let me find the loophole to be able to access millions of dollars. And I know that they won a suit for Microsoft for like $200 million. So I mean, they're definitely
doing it,
stacking up. But yeah.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, the article, it's hard to prove. I'm sure the people from Virate X will say, "Nah, we invented this stuff." Like, we're with you, Achille. We invented it. We're just trying to get what's coming to us. All 14 of our employees.
Hey.
So I don't know. I'm not mad at him, but I mean, I am mad at him, but whatever. Like I said, Joel, you said it's hard to feel bad for Apple.
Not just that, Apple is not 100% clean.
Their hands are not clean.
They're not clean. So
right. Ask the poor Chinese babies who made your iPhone.
Man.
Oh, Joel,
you guys just laugh about that. You guys are terrible people. You guys are terrible
babies. No, I'm gonna ask you. So you're not an iPhone person, are you?
So I'm an Apple person in that all of my products except my phone are Apple. Right. What I am is destructive, and I break a lot of things very quickly. Right. So I buy this cheap phone, $100, and
move on to the next.
Okay, fair enough.
It works. It holds all my apps.
Fair enough. I know Alexis Torres was rode hard for her Google Galaxy.
I can't even deny because this runs on that same programming, and it's really great to be like, you have to leave for the airport now. Oh, thank you, Google. God, that's amazing.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. I'm an Apple. Not an Apple apologist. I'm an Apple loyalist. Loyalist.
You're both.
All right. Speaking of Apple, let's move on. So we did a story a while back about how Google has this new holding company called Alphabet, which basically is going to be able to separate them from Google, have Alphabet so it can have multiple companies under Google. Yeah. Well, as a result, it's now just edged past Apple as the biggest, most valuable company. Apple was evaluated at 531 billion, and Google was at 551 billion. Yeah. Apple stock fell 1%.
I think we talked about this a while back when they were just beginning to create the holding company. I think it's super smart. I mean, like one share is $1,000. Like, it's starting so high, and just, I mean, Google has their three main main sources of revenue, YouTube, Android, and obviously Google for their search and all the ad revenue that's built into all three of those things. And then they have all the other things that go into Alphabet, which is more experimental or trying to innovate other things.
Right.
So they're able to take losses on these other things while they have these enormous gains on their main source of business. I think it's super duper smart in the sense that in terms of how stocks are indexed, they're like first before Apple. So when you see it, you see. So it's just in a way that's marketing it. Like when people see it, they see it first.
Because AF is before AP.
Exactly, and they're on track to be the first company to index over $1 trillion. Like that's crazy. $1 trillion.
It's crazy.
Did you have any reaction to the Google Alphabet?
When I first heard that they were getting a parent company called Alphabet, I was like, it just sounds like an evil corporation.
Alphabet.
Like, this is comic book ready.
Google mantra is do no evil.
Right, but then they have a lot of secret bases.
Yeah, they do.
They sure do.
Ships in the middle of the ocean. Like, we're not doing anything out here, but
yeah, they do have a lot of secret bases.
It's creepy.
Like a lot of giant, millions and millions and millions of square foot facilities, like in Colorado, in the mountains, out in the deserts, out in the middle of Kansas.
But where should it be? Where should it be? Should it be out in the open for everyone to see what they're trying to cook up?
I don't know. I guess it's art, but I guess it's just the size.
But
and
I know
scope.
where the Toyota company is like designing their car. Like I know where the things happen, but you could build a compound that people can't get into. But the fact that they're way out in the ocean, where no one can even conceive of getting to you.
I'm sure where the Toyota's research and development sector is at is not out in
That's
front.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think this is smart, and I think this is fine. And I'm not mad at it. I'll be interested to see how this continues to grow. If this is a manipulation of the system, or if this is actually speaks to the value of the company. We'll see.
I think if it were a race, I think Google Alphabet is going to beat Apple, because I think people are going to, unless Apple continues to be innovative and comes up with a new product, I don't see them winning the race. I feel like other people are going to adopt other forms of technology, or a cheaper form or whatever. There might be a newer version of something. Unless they come up with something that's really, really dope, they're not going to win the race. And I feel Google is, I think they're so entrenched in the search game that they're going to always be a major player, no matter what, because they're on every platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Google's got three main players. They've got Android, the search engine, and then YouTube. Whereas Apple's got iTunes.
Yeah.
Well, Apple's got iTunes. They've got retail. They've got their massive retail. They do sell computers and phones, which makes a little bit of money, aside from that. But then in addition to that, they have software. Then they have iTunes, and then they have which will make them $1 billion coming in 2016 and 17, which is Apple TV and what's coming with that. So I'm not betting against Apple again. I'm an Apple apologist.
Come on, 10 years out, 15 years out.
Yeah.
Who's winning?
Hard to say. It's hard to say. It's we talk about this all the time when you talk about the value on hardware versus IP and software. And I think in the IP software game, Apple's already winning the hardware game, and they have the hardware stuff a lot. There's billions and billions of iPhones to date, billions of iPads to date, billions of
But the sustainability of that, that's what I'm projecting. Are they able to sustain that type of growth? Because this article said they're actually on the decline.
Yeah. But they're still going to be selling some form of some form of computers, some form of laptop, some form of desktop. But in addition to that, they have this. We don't know what they're coming up in terms of iTunes and that whole iTunes, that whole ecosystem of iTunes, where we're getting all these apps. This is maybe how we receive all of our television, the iTunes television system, as opposed to looking it up and picking your apps and picking what shows you watch via iTunes. And then of course the last frontier, which is intellectual property, where Apple becomes a studio. Not only will Apple probably in the next 2 years have some original programming a la Netflix and get in that game, so have some original programming and have some real value there, but Apple's got money. There's a couple of ailing studios around there. Apple might F around and buy MGM or F around and buy Warner Brothers. Then what?
That just blew my mind.
Yeah, no, that's in play.
Good Lord.
But that's in play.
But that's in play for Google too.
It is very much in play for Google.
But Apple has education, and I think a lot of people forget it. You can't get through, especially an arts college, without buying all of the Apple products.
Right.
You essentially have to have them. And from there,
but that's very niched. It's not the masses
There's
of
a lot
people.
of kids going to college. I mean, not maybe with an arts degree, but going
Right.
to college, and they've got stores on just about every campus or right next door, so you can go just pick up your Apple, get taken care of at the Genius Bar, and you get early adapters that way, and people just stick with it for life.
And then I'm sure Eric Schmidt and those guys from Google will say, "How do you find your college?"
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say.
You Google it.
Exactly. Precisely.
Checkmate. All right, let's move on to speaking of Google, and this is a space where Google. This is also the space. So I talk about Apple and all of its hardware and then software and IP. Well, where Google's getting into the game is Google Fiber. Google is laying the pipe. If you
Wow.
if you will. Coming to your city, laying the pipe.
Google laying the pipe.
That's the headline. Google lays pipe Nashville. No, but yeah. So Google, or the fiber, I should say. Google is not laying.
It's getting worse.
Otherwise, it like the spreading the fiber. I'm sorry.
Wow.
All right,
Stop. Just stop.
No, but seriously. So Google Fiber is real, and it's actually, the days of where we have now, we're full of coax cables everywhere, and then obviously companies like AT&T Uverse came through and they had to do a different version of that, faster version. Well, Google is doing fiber optics to match up with Japan and Europe, and they're doing this everywhere, and they're like very, very serious about it. And then
Hell yeah.
the thing about that, as you said, is talk about owning the hardware. They're going to own the mechanism in which you receive your
access the
information.
information, yeah.
So not only do you search the information, but you can't get the information
Yeah.
without Google's help. So that's going to be that's a whole thing. And why I'm bringing this story up, it relates to what we're talking about, but Google is now offering, they're going to put this in public housing, starting in Nashville and other folks. They're going to offer this free to folks who can't afford it. So they're going to come in and give people 1 gigabyte of internet service to residents of public housing, completely free of charge.
It's awesome.
So if you're in the projects, if you anywhere in any kind of public housing situation, you have access to information, which is amazing. This is something President Obama's been talking about doing specifically. Google's on board with this. This is something that they don't, they don't want you to have the information. And now the information is free to everybody. This is amazing. So now what you need is another ploy to get residents of your major cities to say, "Give me my Google Fiber," because it is a municipality issue.
Yeah.
You got to come in there, you got to dig up streets, you got to do all that stuff. But what do you think that they'll be able to get this done, Joelle?
I don't see why not. Especially since they're coming to LA and Chicago, like in the next year or two.
Right.
Chicago will demand it.
Yeah.
They will demand it.
They got some public housing in Chicago for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of issues with our schooling and government, and if a company's offering to come in and give free internet, just tear up the street.
Yeah.
Do it.
I mean, and I mean, do you think this will make the difference as it's projected, Akili?
I definitely think it'll make a difference. I mean, our dependency on the technology that we use in terms of computers, tablets, and phones will require this type of infrastructure, especially with a lot of the content in terms of video content being streamed. Like, we're going to need faster speeds. And the thing with the whole fiber thing is that not only do you have fast download speeds, but you have faster upload speeds, which I think will propel how we communicate and how we transfer, obviously, information to each other in a creative form or whatever form it may be. So, and then I love the fact that they're providing the access to people, lower income families. I think that's awesome, because I believe all people are deserving of that access and should be able to have the same amount of access to information to propel their dreams and propel their imagination. I think that's solid to be able to give us the opportunity to be able to do that, because a lot of kids don't have tablets, a lot of kids don't have that opportunity to be able to Google something. So like, hey, don't worry about it, no fee. Let us put in the infrastructure. I wonder what the play is, though, because I know there is a play for that. I don't think it's just purely like altruistic. Like, I think
the play is to have their pipes in all the cities. They have they want to spread their tentacles in all the cities.
Right.
Hey, we'll do it for free.
Yeah, but when does that free turn to a fee? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, the free turns into a fee, because ultimately, once you're in, you're in. So the cracking it's cracking these municipalities, like, and getting them to say, okay, you can come in and do this. Like, hey, we'll come and do it for free. Okay, and once you're in, we're gonna go to Beverly Hills too. Oh, okay. Well, it's not separate permit. I'm already in. I just gotta start. You already gave me the permits.
But there's gonna be a point in time where we're gonna have to make money off this.
Oh,
so
no,
that's what I'm saying.
No.
What happens in the projects then? What happens in the projects then, though?
Well, in the public, I think that they keep the public housing free, and then they charge everyone else.
Okay.
But if you keep look, public housing in every major metropolitan city is only is a small percentage of who the folks are, who the potential receivers of information. We're talking about the internet, so everyone's a customer. Yeah. Everyone's a customer. So I mean, and Google is not really infringing necessarily on your Xfinities and your Time Warners necessarily, because they'll say, hey, Xfinity, hey, Comcast, you can use our stuff. We don't mind. We're not a cable company yet. We don't have until they buy Comcast, but it's a whole other story.
Do you think what I was going to say? Do you think it could be like where you start contracting cities? Like there's only one electric company in a city. There's only one like in Chicago. A lot of places you can only get like one kind of cable. Do you think that Google could ever start like, oh, we're already here, you might as well?
Well, I think that they're Google with their do no evil thing. I don't think they're trying to get a monopoly on. I think they just want to own the hardware. I think that by them saying it's like owning the telephone poles. I'm not the telephone company, but I own all the poles. Right. So I think it's something to be said about that. The power is in that. Now, sure, at any given moment they could say we're going to buy Comcast and Time Warner, and now we own everything Google. But I don't I don't know that federal. I don't know that federal regulations will allow that. And
if you look at it as a from a colonizer's perspective, they're owning the access to the internet. They're owning you searching on the internet, and they own devices. Like I feel that is like a monopoly in a sense.
They're getting there. Yeah, they're getting. It's just one flip switch away from being able to say I own it all.
Exactly.
So I own you. Yes, I don't know. I'm usually the one who's doom and gloom and like this is and scared about this, but this doesn't really bother me. For some reason, Facebook, I'm way more afraid of Facebook than I am of Google. Like Google, I'm like, yeah, let them do it. It's Google, but it's Facebook. I'm like, I don't know. That's just me. I mean, maybe being extremely naive about that because we have yet our third Google story in a row.
I do have to ask you guys:
yes,
have you guys used any type of fiber technology? Like I have, it's freaking amazing.
Yeah,
like the speed is just ridiculous.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know offhand. I mean, you talk about in China or
no. I
here?
used it here in a facility to upload assets. So I had like about 500 gigs of assets, and it uploaded in 10 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Whoa.
No,
10 minutes.
Wow. Definitely not doing anything like that.
Well, then we need it,
man.
We demand it.
We need it.
It was amazing.
Okay, well, shoot. Shout out to Google.
Uploaded in 10 minutes.
Wow,
that's incredible.
That's crazy. Well, and also, now we did a story a while back last year about Zuckerberg, speaking of Facebook, buying a bunch of drones and buying a drone company. He bought a fleet of like 500 drones, and that scared the shit out of me. And he's like, oh, we're just going to use it for the internet. We're going to fly them up and give internet to. And I'm like, okay. Until he attacks us all, Zuckerberg. I don't know, but Google's doing the same thing. Alphabet has just started a whole project called Project Skybender, which they have these drones that are solar powered that can stay in the air indefinitely, and the goal is to be able to provide internet to places that can't get internet. So starting here domestically, and again, I'm like, Google sounds good to me. What do you think of this? Does this scare you? Is this fine? Is this weird?
I think to me it feels useless to fight the drones. Like they're coming. Like Amazon has them, Google has them. People are talking about delivering.
We have a story later. Disney has them.
Yeah, like I hope that they don't blacken out the sky one day when people are like, I need Amazon to order everything to my door. But also
one word: Skynet.
Yes, yeah. But also, like, I have a friend that lives in South Korea, and you can get internet everywhere. Every single place you go, there is always internet for you to use.
Is there drones that fly?
They don't use drones, but I guess it's same thing, different practice. So if I can have internet everywhere, if I can just stream constantly, I'm down with it.
Akili, you okay with the drones?
Yeah, I think that's okay. Like if you are a person that lives in a mountainous community, or you live in a very just a place where there's not the infrastructure that we're accustomed to, I think that works perfectly. And again, it goes to the whole dialogue of people having access to be able to develop their dreams, to develop or answer their questions or figure out stuff. So I feel like having that access provided for people is a plus. And the plus for Google is obviously to be able to render more render more ad revenue because there's more people that's on the internet. So I mean, I see it's a win-win in that sense. But yeah, I get your point in terms of like just the pollution of it all and just like how it could be just a train wreck in the sense that like we have all this stuff in the sky and just all these things that are happening. Like, how is that managed? Like, I like to see what the plan is for managing that. If every company wants to be able to throw drones up,
new air traffic control company, drone traffic control. We got this.
This is just well, I mean, I'm we'll see. I think it sounds good. I like the idea. I like it's solar. I like that it seems to be only for information and not surveillance or weaponized. The drones that Zuck bought, if I'm not mistaken, they're ready to go. They're ready to drop some bombs, and not information bombs. They're ready to go. I don't. They're ready to watch and drop. Whenever. Anyway, I don't trust him.
I don't trust him.
I don't trust him. I don't know. It's just too much power. He's like a boy king, you know.
That's probably fair.
All right, but moving forward to something, I want to talk about this story because that was kind of cool. EasyJet has this new hybrid planes. Now, they've been talking about this forever. It's really different. We're talking about a full like 737 style aircraft. Now, planes are the most eco-unfriendly things around. They burn a shitload of fuel. It takes like 50,000 tons of fuel to get planes, off the ground and flying and moving. And so people for a long time have been trying to figure out a way to do this from a hybrid system. And it's not so much staying in the air as much as taking off, taking off and then being able to go 500 miles an hour for a sustained amount of time. So this company has a hydrogen cell sort of process where they also have a green taxi system where they're able to get off the ground and they use hydrogen technology to sort of keep the plane in the air. So it's supposed to save 50,000 tons of fuel, and all the corresponding CO2 emissions each year. I don't know. There's Louis C.K. has a bit about flying, about like, you're sitting in a chair in the sky. Like, I have the miracle of flight still to me. I'm not really afraid to fly per se, but every single time I fly, I have a moment I'm like, damn, I'm in a chair in the sky.
I live in the future.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like, I don't even, how is this working? So I'm kind of cool with, I just got used to the fact that we're able to do this safely. I don't know that I'm going to try something new.
Yeah, I think this is smart. I think this is, talking about...
This is me. I'm being a total old, guy right now. Go ahead.
We're talking about being environmentally conscious and using cleaner uses of energy. Like, I think this is good because, to your point, like, each plane is using 50,000 gallons per flight or per journey. I think to reduce that and to reduce the CO2 emissions, I think is smart. And so in terms of just trying to develop the technology, because this is a 15-year project. Like, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. No. And the hydrogen, when it's burned, it turns into water, and so they're saying, hey, we could use this water also for the toilets and for
it would refill the aircraft water system.
There is no pollution. There's no waste at all. Like, we're using all the forms of energy more efficiently. And even though what they're saying is it's only going to save 4% of it's only going to reduce 4% of gasoline, but that 4% per plane, per flight, per day, like that adds up. And
so, you know how many flights are in the air every single day around the world, and so you think about it, that 4% adds up.
Especially
quickly.
If they can roll it back to us when we're buying tickets. I really appreciate that.
There you go.
I would buy those hybrid plane tickets.
I would love that. Somehow, I don't think that's going to be the case.
You got your hydro card?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love the idea of that. I would want. So I want to touch on this because this is interesting. You talked about Joelle. You talked about Google's secret sites. Well, Microsoft is actually thinking about putting their data centers underwater, which is on some like James Bond shit right there. That's like the super villain's lair, which is cool. Their idea is saying, look, we have these giant, because these data centers, as we talked about with Google, are, they're massive, and the data that look, there's ways to shrink the way we accumulate this data and shrink it, but still we have time. There's more and more data accumulated, so these data centers are just larger and larger, technology larger and larger. Microsoft's like, let's just drop these underwater. What do you think of this?
At first I was concerned environmentally because they are big
Right.
and loud, and I didn't understand like how they're. But apparently they're just in cylinder form.
Yeah.
Like a giant cylinder, and then it just goes down, and shrimp are covering up the sound, which I didn't really understand, but was excited to hear. It's cool, man. If they can build them larger and faster, and keep them in places. You know, we live on land. There are so many people in the world. The more land we can free up for schools and houses and things, I'm about it.
Well, it's tricky because, you know, with like I said, given the growth of the cloud, like most of these data centers are yet to be built. We think about we're fine. No. Where we are with the cloud and the proliferation of the cloud and all this talk of cloud usage and cloud storage, we need a lot more because everything's in the cloud now.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think the big point for this is again, it's like how can we promote more efficiency? And so when you have these data centers on land, like it requires a lot of cooling, which requires a lot of electricity to be able to keep the electronics and hardware cooled. And so putting in the ocean, you already have, you know, the built-in cooling factor because the ocean's much cooler. And then they're also trying to use the energy of the ocean to actually propel the energy centers because of the wave that you're trying to develop wave technology to generate electricity for the energy center versus using, you know, our traditional form of electricity. And so I think that's smart to be able to figure out different ways to capture the energy of the earth to be able to be able to fuel our technology, be it the sun, wind, or water or ocean. So
yeah, and I think that's the future if we can figure out how to do that. I mean, you know, get us off of fossil fuels and help minimize our waste in general. And one of our big problems with technology is there's a huge amount of technology waste. I mean, all of this stuff.
Yeah, where does that go?
It's got to go somewhere. So
where does it go?
I know where it goes. It goes out right next to the data center.
It goes in the ocean. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But you know, for now, hopefully they can figure that out. But that's where it's going right now. I wanted to talk about this. I really love this. This is a Tesla story that's floating around. It's Elon Musk. So a couple things. People are talking about Tesla's in trouble. Tesla this, Tesla that. This is such a non-story to me, but I'll mention it. So people are saying that gas prices are plummeting, gas prices are down, and so as a result, Tesla, the prices of the stock in Tesla is dropping. Teslas are in trouble.
I think I'm so asinine too. Like
it feels like a right-wing propaganda story.
Who's gonna want an electric car now? Like I never have to pay for gas
cheap.
again.
This Elon Musk is a fraud.
Good Lord. Like, so stupid.
Get him out of here. It sounds like a Koch brothers plant story. But anyway, I don't know. And that on top of the other thing that is. He's getting a lot of bad press because he denied this one cat. One cat wanted to buy the new Model X, and I guess he was rude or whatever, some VC guy, and he said, "No, you can't have Model X." And he was like, he went public and like, you're like, he's a maniac. This Elon, he's a dictator, and so, look, it's just like he owns. It's like having a giant shoe store or a giant restaurant. You can reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. If anyone comes in my spot acting a fool, you're gonna get kicked out. Like that's what it is. So I'm not mad at Elon Musk at all.
Me neither.
Any thoughts?
No, not mad at him at all. And
are you worried that the business is gonna go under because of the gas prices?
Nah,
No.
I think my man is super smart. I think he's gonna continue to climb. Sales will continue to increase. Costs will come down. Like there'll be a more output, more of a expanded line. Right. Like I think he's in the game. Like he's done well.
How do you feel about this Model X?
I mean, we covered it on the store on the show before. I mean, I think it looks cool. I think how fast it goes is cool.
Yeah.
The price point, I don't know. It's kind of up there.
It's up there.
What
about the doors?
Yeah, that's dope. I like it. It's futuristic.
We'll see.
I mean, is it necessary? No.
I like that he's selling the cool factor though.
Right.
I like that he's like, this is not just like he's making the car of the future. Like you'll feel like you're driving the next thing in it.
Right.
And I think that's for people who are going out on a limb to try the electric car. So many people are afraid. They're like, I don't know how to charge it. I don't know like how far am I gonna get, and I just run out of electricity. It'll be crazy. I think you got to go for the cool factor to rope in your base initially, and then you can move on to these, like your standard car.
That's a good point.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Elon Musk, well, aside from the fact that he's a genius and I love him, is that he's on my side. Now, he's also a big proponent of the doomsday scenario. He's very afraid of AI. He's like, we have to watch out for AI. AI is going to get us like the Matrix.
It is.
So we have to. He's one of a group of folks who's spending a ton of money. I think like him. I forget who else the guy. They spent like $1 billion. Oh, is it Bezos? I think it's Jeff Bezos, him, and someone else. Spent $1 billion in developing this sort of like how do we protect ourselves against AI? How do we get ready for when the robots come and take over? Now, if Elon Musk is saying that shit, I'm afraid.
It's inevitable. I mean, we've talked about this so many times on the show, technological singularity, where our AI develops a sense of consciousness or a point of view where they're able to create themselves and create themselves more efficiently and smarter. It's going to happen.
And be
it's going to happen in our lifetime.
We need you. Like,
exactly.
You wasted space.
Exactly.
So you're really a fan of the bio, like, third bridge where we, like, start becoming technology?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, you know, I feel like that's more likely to happen than as far as, like, AI just, you know, sprouting intelligence and trying to take us down. I think we become more artificial ourselves.
We already have it. We already have the Watsons. We already have the computers that think way faster than us already. Well, they just don't have they can't move past their programming. But once they're able to do that, then what?
Yeah, once they're able to print out a body that's more efficient than the bodies we have, could 3D print themselves a body that can move around and have thought. They're already working on ways to. There's that whole thing. There's that thing now about how they have a mouse and they're trying to amputate a mouse's head and then surgically attach to another mouse, and then they're saying figure out if the mouse has the same memories. So if the mouse is the same, so if they chop off a mouse's head, put another mouse, and if that mouse knows the maze, then that's a win, because that means that information can be transferred from one brain to another. If that's the case, then they can figure out a way to download and transfer your thoughts and brains into something else, be it AI or otherwise.
Transcendence.
Yeah, with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them. You know, I mean, but are you talking about a cybernetic exoskeleton over living tissue? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
a cybernetic organism over
I think that would probably be how it would start. Did you guys play Mass Effect?
You know what? I did not play Mass Effect.
Okay, so at the end, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. At the end of Mass Effect 3, like this bio, it just explodes all over a rainforest, and as the rainforest begins to morph, it becomes bionized, and so you have biotic, like, semibiotic trees and animals and people. Yeah. And so the things you inject into yourself or like are passed on to the next generation, and so you can like cure and heal yourself.
Whoa, that's like Prometheus.
Yes, totally. I think that's more likely to happen than just a second species.
Okay.
It would be crazy if we did create like a species of artificial intelligence.
Also in Halo 5, spoiler alert, Cortana also creates a planet with all these like bio, like sort of mix of technology and flowers and everything else she's creating, and she's having a good time creating this stuff. She goes a little crazy in Halo 5.
You know what, now that I think about it, the same thing happens in a Futurama episode.
Oh.
Where Dr. Farnsworth crashes on a foreign planet and his microbes escape into the planet.
We are going deep. From Mass Effect to Cortana to Futurama. Geek.Nerd.Tech is in full effect. Woo! All right, let's move on. The HoloLens. You got a reference in there, Keely, somewhere?
I was going to drop a funny one, but I'm good.
No, that one. Well, never mind. Never mind. I'll leave it. I'll leave the spreading of seeds reference.
Wow.
Away.
Laying the pipes, pregnancy.
Yeah,
you're on
okay. Every new HoloLens video makes us want more. There's this new video that Microsoft came up with talking about like imagining the future for NFL fans, and it's like it's a possibilities, and it's a dope ass video. Now, granted, it's not dissimilar yet. It's not dissimilar from what we saw at CES a couple years ago and some of the augmented reality stuff and some of the stuff. And so it feels like it's possible, but they're predicting a world where everyone has on lenses. You're looking at the wall's expanded. You're looking down at the coffee table. You've got plays you're running. You're interacting with everything, interacting with each other. Like, that's crazy dope. Is that where we're headed?
Yeah, we're headed in that direction for sure. I mean, we've discussed this so many times on the show with the HTC, the Oculus, the Morpheus, the Samsung joint, like this virtual reality and AR, augmented reality world is fastly approaching, and I think we'll have the different type of experiences that people will be able to have, and once the programmers have access to the hardware and they're able to tinker with it and develop this stuff, the price will come down. More people will be able to have access to them. And it'll be more common than not, and then people will just it'll be like a new drug, I think.
I've got a guy now, our guy Brody is working with a guy now who through your iPhone, it's basically augmented technology. You look at a piece of paper and it's a heart and it turns into a beating heart, and you can 3D move it around. It's already there through your phone, so it definitely can happen through there. Are you excited about this technology, Joelle?
I'm thrilled because even I heard Google Cardboard, is that what it is?
Yeah.
With the phone, I did that over Christmas with my friend. It was so cool.
Wow.
Just turning around in a circle and you look like a fool, but it's
right. Yeah,
fun.
That's the other thing. Everybody's been walking around like.
It's crazy. And Google Cardboard doesn't have ends on it, so the phone's always side out. But it's really cool.
I'm gonna blow through these. We only got a few minutes left, but I want to get through the rest of these stories. Disney has filed a patent, and hopefully the patent trolls will get to this one, for this really dope drone-based flying screen. And basically, it's like a drone with a screen that drops down and it flies around with a screen projecting on the screen. You can track onto or outside the screen. Basically, it could be used mostly for advertising. But if you've been to any Disneyland lately, the technology they're using for Fantasmic and the World of Color and also the fireworks show is already state of the art. So the idea of having these drones flying around and projecting stuff as well, that's crazy. But also to be walking around the park and have stuff flying by.
And they say you can do movement or still photos.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
That's on some Minority Report shit right
better
there.
make sure it's safe, because if it drops on the kid, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Or if a kid throws a lollipop at it, or something.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? You got a lot of moving parts, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure that they'll have. I don't know. I'm a Disney apologist too. I'm sure it's fine. Disney and Google.
Disney's got it.
They got it covered.
I'll trust them with anything.
Yeah. This is something I'm very interested in. Instagram is finally, I've been wondering about this, and as content creators, Keely, we talk about this all the time, but Instagram's launching a 28-part thriller.
I can't wait.
It's thriller if it's got 28 parts.
Well, it's 15 seconds each.
I watched the video. It's in.
So it's is that, what is that? I can't do the math on that. Is that 4 minutes? 4-minute thriller.
It's 7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes, 28 days. It's like 24. It's like 24. What's the name? 24. But 15 seconds. That's a real challenge to film. I mean, I wonder as a filmmaker what you can do in 15 seconds to be able to push a narrative forward. I mean, we saw it done in Vine when Vine first came out. A lot of people were doing the 7-minute film, 7-second films. 15 seconds, a little more time. I mean, do you think this will work? Do you think this is something that'll work, Akili? I mean, you're a director, content guy. What do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't go as far to say that it won't work. I think that, depending on who's directing, who's producing it, creating it could work. It could be creative for that right brand, that right person, that right story. It could work.
Okay, but do you think this is it will be an effective way to tell a story? Would you choose this as a content?
It's a new way to tell the story. I don't know how effective it would be. Okay. I think that, like I said, depending on who is crafting that narrative, depending on who it's for, it could be really creative. It could go viral. But the one that's in that article, it doesn't look attractive at all.
What do you think about this, Joelle?
I was gonna say it does look like a shot on an iPhone and not like Tangerine levels of shooting. I just don't. I think a thriller might have been the wrong way to go. Yeah. I think a comedy would have been a better way to start out. But they know their audience. I'm not huge into Instagram and stuff, so maybe that's for their audience. That's just bee's knees, but I wasn't really feeling it.
Okay,
yeah, I wasn't feeling it either.
One last thing I want to talk about, two good things. Supergirl Flash teaming up. I mean, I'm very excited about this.
So excited.
We've gone through great lengths talking about the DC television universe, but we talk about Supergirl, we talk about Flash. We love them. What do you think of this?
I am obsessed with both of these shows. Okay. I think they're so great. I think their casts are amazing. Yep. And their sentiments match up better than Flash and Arrow. Arrow is so dark and so into itself, and so many characters already. Flash has a lot of characters. Supergirl, small cast. Yeah. I think that the crossover is going to work really well. I'm very excited about it.
I really like Supergirl. I'm on record for liking Supergirl a lot, even though it's not necessarily for me.
It's fun.
It's really good. I like the Black Jimmy Olsen. I like her. I mean, I like it. I'm into it, and I think that Berlanti is just. He's the man. He should take over.
He can do no wrong.
I've said it before. I said it again. He should take over for Zack Snyder, but that's that.
I agree.
And then the Taylor Swift of a video game. She'll make a bunch of money on that. Who cares? All right, that's all I got. Anything else you want to talk about, Kelly?
Nah, man. What are we next week? Next week is
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
We'll talk about some. Next week we'll talk about some commercials, what we liked. We'll talk about some of the stats. We'll talk about the social media engagement.
Absolutely.
We'll get into all of that, and we'll talk about the win.
Yeah, and we still gotta have some dialogue about the Oscars.
Oscars definitely
haven't had that dialogue yet.
We'll definitely have an Oscar show coming up, and we'll definitely talk some Grammys coming up as well in terms of engagement and everything else. I don't know.
Kanye, let's go.
Kanye, the new Kanye record,
The best Twitter rants ever.
Yes, we talked about that last week.
Right.
No, we talked about last week. Yeah, we know that Kanye's his OG, and he should be respected as such. We know that already. Joelle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. We had a great time.
Where can the kids find you?
You guys can find me at Geek.Nerd.Tech, on Twitter and everywhere else at Joelle Monique. And my GoFundMe page, which is send Joelle to South by Southwest, where I'm trying really hard to cover the film section there. You can find all that information on my Twitter.
There it is.
All
That's
right.
nice. That's
Go.
good.
Shine.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at AKILISHINE, AKILISHINE. What about you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Joe K. Braswell, and on our sister network AfterBuzz doing the Blacklist and Basement Motel coming up very shortly. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you all next week.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
See, I want them to do Twitch.
Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.